I'm Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and this video is about Diced Veggies. Diced Veggies is a dexterity-esque recipe fulfillment game while preparing different types of foods. Diced Veggies was designed by Jory, Rowan, and Josh Cappel, with art from Claire Lynn. It was also published by KTBG. Plays 2 to 4 players, ages 6 and up, in about 30 minutes. Let's get to the table. These are all the components in Diced Veggies. So every player is going to start off with one hype card, which is sort of an engine building-esque card. Like this one is with heirloom carrots. So you'd have to discard a carrot dice, which is, I guess this, whatever color this is, this orangish yellow color. I'm sure it has a name. I just don't know what that is. And you get 3 points for each carrot that's in all the recipes you make at the end of the game. Everybody else gets 2 recipe cards. So this is picadillo, this is caprese salad, and you can see the dice requirements on them in addition to the points for successfully completing it. A chef token, which can allow you to change any die to any different type of food type. So if you have a pepper, but you need it to be an onion, you could discard this and it would do that. It can also change the pit values of what you have as well, which can be very, very useful. The example for the numbers in the instructions is, let's say you have this hype card that says that will knock your socks off. Numbers must add to 19 exactly, meaning all of the dice used to complete this recipe or whatever recipe have to add up to 19. It's worth 7 points. So you could discard your chef token to change one of the values in order to get to 19, which gets you those 7 points. And the game is all about earning those points. You have the frame and all the dice. So I'll just put the frame over here. The active player will use the cleaver to cleave off values of dice. And then up here, on your turn, you can pick up a blind pickup of recipe card. There's 3 out here, and then there's a stack of hype cards. This is a dice legend, so you can see what all the different, ignore the pit values on the die. It's just what the color is. So carrots, mushrooms, onions, peppers, and tomatoes. Okay, we'll get into more of the rules by everything else as I go along. So the active player, I'll say the player here on the left, the cleaver is supposed to come down somewhat parallel to the table, not at an angle where you're kind of going in and doing that. And the most important rule is that you're cutting away, you're separating dice that can have a value of up to 10. So let's say I really wanted all 6 of these. I can't do that because the pit values of all these dice are 16 and not 10. But I could carve away just these 4, which would be 10. It can be 10 or under. But take a look at my recipes. I really need tomatoes for this caprese salad. And of course, the tomatoes are kind of here, there, and everywhere. Yay me. And I need carrots as well. So it might behoove me to take these 4 here. Can I do that? Let's see. Can he pull it off? Okay, I'm making it. Okay. All right, so let's say I just should have nudged that one, but I'll put that back. Sorry. So I could carve this off. As you can see, this actually adds up to 10. But I could put this in front of me, and I could start to apply them if I wish. You can always move them around. You don't have to keep them where they are. Okay, so there's kind of 3 steps to a turn. I just cut. The second step would be to cook. If I had all the dice I needed to complete some of these recipes, I could cook. Unfortunately, I don't have all the dice that I need. Last step is to card, meaning you can draw a recipe from here, from the top, or draw a hype card. You can have 2 of each card in front of you as a max. So you can't just kind of go nuts just getting stuff because you want it. Taking a look here, maybe I take, well, we can have 2 of each. I would love to take this ramen, but I can't pull that off. So let's say I just take another hype card. This one is perfectly seasoned. May only include 2 different numbers worth 4 points. I don't even know how I would use that, but I'll just stack that there. Or I had to take one of these if I had the room for it. Normally that happens if you cook and then you have space for the recipe, you can take another one. Yeah, and then the cleaver will go over to the player over here. And they would go ahead and take their turn. So they want carrots and mushrooms. But they can't quite get everything they want. They also want tomatoes and carrots. So they're going to come over here to this left side again. And cut. Oh, you didn't see that. And their totals also happens to be 10, so that's legal. I'm going to put 2 of those there. And you can actually, like I said, you can have 2 of each card in front of you. You can have a maximum of 8 dice that you carry forward. Discarded dice will just go into the frame there, and I'll get into that later when the restocking is discussed. They're going to take another hype card. Anyway, back over to this player here. I think they're going to let him cook. Let him cook. Okay, I did a little better. So I'm going to cut that, the cleaver down, and the pepper, and the onion. Okay, these 2 are just kind of hanging out along with that one. So I cut, now I can cook. Now looking over at my hype cards, I have this one that says may only include 2 different numbers. I got a bunch of 2s here, right? So if I use my chef token to convert, let's say this over to a 4. So I just convert this over into a 4. Then I can cook this picadillo and then add this hype card for 4 additional points. So now I'm scoring 10 points instead of just 6. So once I've used it, it kind of gets discarded. And actually the dice that I use go in here. And I would take this and just put it off to the side. And now I can draw another card. What do I want? Trying to slow down on everything needing these tomatoes that we have yet to get to. You know, I'm just going to draw from the top. See what I get. Of course, I got jambalaya, which requires tomatoes and peppers. Should have just taken the ramen. We live and we learn. So I cut. I cooked. That boy cooked. I cooked. And I got a new card. Once somebody's turn begins, and let's say all of, I mean, it wouldn't be like this, but it's supposed to leave it in one shape, but just hypothetically, let's say all the green were gone already. And let me just push all these in here. It's way too many onions, but it's all good. Let's say this is like the weird shape that was left over. Once a single color die is missing and it's the beginning of someone's turn, they can do what's called a restock, meaning they take all the die and they would pour them, or they would roll them, put them back into the frame, move the frame. Is that supposed to even go there? I don't know. Move the frame, you know, add an angle, a diagonal, so they all kind of drag into one side, and then, well, they would move it over here. All this stuff wasn't in the way. And everybody also, during a restock, everybody gets their chef tokens back if they use them already, which is nice. They get those back, and then that player would take their turn as normal. That's what's called a restock. Once a player has cooked their 7th recipe card, at that point, everybody else would finish out the round getting one more turn, and then all players would get one more chance to just cook. You're not getting any more dice. You can just get one opportunity to cook based on the dice you have left over and the recipes that you have, as well as hype cards. You get to cook one more time, and that triggers, that's the end of the game. And whoever's the most points wins the game. And those are the final points of Diced Veggies. Looking at a game that looks like this and thinking about dice, I like games of dice. I like, you know, very shiny, multicolored. I just like rolling dice. Games with a lot of dice are going to just intrigue me because, simple fact, there's dice. So my first play of this, because you weren't really rolling the dice as part of one of the game mechanics frequently. I mean, you do it when one of the vegetable color, one of the color dice slash food types runs out. I left my first play like, it was fun, but every subsequent play after that, I have really enjoyed it. Probably because I got over the fact that you're not really rolling the dice around a lot, but it's just fun to take that little cleaver and try to hack things off as best as possible to get, less than 10 pit value, but also getting the die you need. I just enjoyed every subsequent game I played. So my first play was like, okay, I wish I was rolling them. But then I kind of got over myself. And so this game is very fun. And some of the designers are kids. And I think they did a really good job. So having said all of those things, I recommend Diced Veggies. It's a very fun game. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed.